Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have Jen and Big Ten King. Thank you for coming on tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on here. I really do enjoy all the positive vibes that come from your streams.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I mean, it's too easy to be down, period. But especially in these days and times, and
Oh,
um,
geez.
just I'm blessed to just have a positive nature and high spirit. That was a gift of mine, and I don't take it for granted. And I like to consider myself a drink offering. You know, for those that know that understand I'm spiritual, that's what I am now. A drink offering where every day I pour myself out for people. And one day I'm not going to be refilled, and that means my work is done.
Well, hopefully it's not going to be for quite a while because there's plenty of us that need that kind of positivity in our lives.
Amen. Amen. I'm just
Amen to
glad to
that.
be able to. Glad to be able.
Hi, Andre. Hi, Jess. J Rock.
Hello, Jess. Hello, J Rock. Hello,
Jess,
Andre.
J.
Hello,
Rod,
Deborah.
Andre Ellis, Deborah. Look like my chat might be a little behind over here because I can't see it on the screen.
Are you in Top Chat or live?
I am in live. I remember. I remember today.
I hate it when it
I
does
get
that.
caught with that all the time.
And you just miss. Look, you miss so much, and we try to play catch up. It's like, oh my God, what happened?
Yep.
Especially on a really good night when the chat is going fast. It's like, oh goodness, just slow down so I could get caught up, could you?
Right, right. Oh my goodness. So how y'all today?
Oh, I'm
Doing
doing good. I
doing
actually
pretty well.
learned how to do siding today.
Siding?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like on the house?
She's
Yep.
helping out a friend. She's
Learned how
helping
to
out a
hang
friend.
siding today.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I moved into an
Can't
apartment.
have
I'm
enough
glad I don't have
skills in your tool shed, right?
right. I think my tool shed might be kind of full now. I'm kind of glad we moved to an apartment so my honeydew list shrinks.
You know,
My wife didn't hear that.
there's a company near my boyfriend's mother's house that's called the Honeydew. And
No,
that's what he does. He's a guy that comes out and he does all the honeydew lists that nobody wants to do or can't do or doesn't have the skills for. He
right.
just, call him up, you give him a list, and he takes care of your honeydew list.
And that's a very good idea because I mean he should always have some work.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, and he can pick and choose between what he wants to do.
Right. Yeah, I've been doing things, random sorts of carpentry and mechanic type work for a long, long time. And now, my wife, I had to tell her we've been married 22, going on 23 years. And I
Oh,
say,
wonderful.
I said, just don't be making up stuff for me to do. I don't,
I really don't need a larger list.
right? Don't just make up
I
stuff.
don't need you to pile
You
more
know.
things onto my list.
Hi, Jeffrey.
I got enough as it is.
All right. Jay Watts.
Hello,
Jay
Jeffrey.
Watts Jay Watts is here in Houston, also one of my good friends.
Yeah, do you actually know each other personally?
Yes, and you know how we always speak of the people you meet, you know, and the relationships you make. YouTube, I met him in the chats on YouTube. Found out we're
Oh,
close to each
fantastic.
other.
Hey, Griffin, I hear you got your new truck.
Hello,
Big Mike
color.
Dodge.
Adele, Color
Hello, Adele.
Guppies,
What's happening, y'all? What's happening, Color Guppies?
RB Animal
Adele.
Rescue,
Hello, RB.
R to the
Chit.
BZ.
Bottom Dwellers.
Hello, bottom dwellers.
Bottom Dwellers Aquatics.
Yep. Griffin must have stopped, and they all headed over this way. This is the group of people we like to talk with. They really keep the stream going.
They do.
Right?
Jenny
There he
Lynn,
is.
my namesake.
Roberto. Chalupa no tomatoes. Jenny
Oh
Lynn.
yeah, Travis.
Hello, Travis.
Natural Aquariums.
Hello, Natural Aquariums.
Natural Aquariums. What's going on?
Oh, is that you in the background, Jen? I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what is that?
What's going on? Oh,
The
I
movie.
just hear something in the background. I
Yeah.
think it's a movie in the background.
yeah. Donald's watching Netflix
Got it.
tonight.
So I guess since we're starting to get people trickling in, we might as well start if that works for you guys.
Ready.
Ah,
All right. So then, Hank, do you mind giving us a little bit of background?
Where should I start? Born.
That's the $1 million question, isn't
hi,
it?
Freaky Fish
Right.
Lady.
Right?
Hi, Holly.
Born in a small town named Hempstead, Texas, with about 3,500, 4,000 people population growing up, and maybe about 7,000 now. Little country boy.
Hi, Danny.
Hi,
Into
Robert.
rodeo. I was always a big fella, so I was stereotyped as people assume playing football and doing all that. I played football 1 year in junior high, but I was into rodeo. I tried a little shoot dogging, which is steer dogging without the horse. You do it on the ground. You stand in front of the chute, they pop the gate, and you slide the steer, and you toss it.
Oh,
Then I graduated up to bull riding. But again, I was pretty healthy sized fella, so you have to be kind of small to do well in bull riding because it's not a strength game because you're not going to out muscle a bull. So you get beat up a little bit when you're bigger. So I shut that one down.
hi, Lance.
Went to college
Bruiser.
for a year, Southwest Texas Junior College in Uvalde, Texas. Maybe a good 50 miles from the border of Mexico. Eagle Pass, Texas side, Piedras Negras, Mexico border side. Rewinding back to youngster, my best friend lived farther in the country than I did. I mean, like your neighbors were maybe half a mile up was your closest, then sometimes a mile. And they're all on one side of the road. The other side of the road is all pasture. And we fished a lot, whether it be with poles or with nets. So as a young fellow, if I could catch it and put it in a bucket or a tank or whatever, I was doing it. So
you've been keeping fish for quite a while.
I'm 49, and I say I've been keeping fish easily 30, 35 years, and only found out about the nitrogen cycle in the last 2 years.
That I'm not surprised about.
Hey,
How many fish did you lose during that time?
I can honestly say, early on, I found out about, hey, we have chlorine in our water, it kills fish. So I learned about that early. because my mother bought me my first fish tank, like a 10-gallon fish tank. Mm, 7, 8 years old, somewhere in there. Before I would win the little goldfish in a bowl, and knowing that chlorine kills your fish, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game right there. But oh, she had me cleaning the tank, and I would clean the whole tank, all of the rocks, all of the decorations, everything. Just clean this. So that means you starting over every
Yep.
time, and we clean the tank every Saturday.
Oh,
So my poor fish, it was like every week it was starting over. But I had a chance to learn which were the hardiest aquarium fish, not knowing why, why were they dying? Had no idea, but I knew which fish lived: guppies, goldfish, mollies, and platies. That was like all that I could keep during that point. Well, later on, when I found out you can let your tank sit a little while longer, still not knowing about the nitrogen cycle, but learn about putting native plants in the tank, and I was catching native fish, and like I would have baby perch and stuff like that in tanks in the house, and I might not would do a water change once a month, but I learned about topping the tank off. Again, knew nothing about the chemistry of any of it, but using that and fast forwarding to today, I have all of these, all of my tanks looking like they're in the wilderness or somewhere. It's just simply because of what I learned growing up. I might do a water change now once a month, but I top off a good 15 or 20% maybe once a week. But I make sure I keep enough plants floating in there. I have on water. I have bamboo. I have pothos, which it was just called ivy when I was growing up, because my grandmother had it everywhere.
oh, I love your
Oh,
ivy plants.
Yeah, I have to stick them in everything. I used to be the king of ivy at one point, but I had to
I
take it
wish I
back a
could
little
get
bit.
mine to really start growing well, but I haven't had good luck with them.
In your tanks,
Yeah.
did you have any other plants in there also?
Oh, I have all sorts of stem plants and bulb plants.
Because
The
I've
only
learned.
thing I don't have, well, I do have
hello,
duckweed,
Patty.
but I don't really have any floating plants in there.
Okay, because I've learned with the pothos, and you see very few people do it, but pothos, if you just give it the run of the tank, like if you don't have any other plants, you don't have them in there for specific decorations. But if pothos is your main plant, oh, it'll cover a room. It'll run from the tank. It'll get the stem will be this thick. It'll be going everywhere. Big
That's what
leaves.
I
Your
want to
leaves will get
go
big.
for.
If you just let it be your main source of nitrogen uptake, then it'll thrive like that. But if it has to compete, because I have hornwort like crazy, so my pothos looks pretty good, but the leaves stay relatively small. They don't really get a chance to flourish because I have so much hornwort. And hornwort grows literally like a weed.
Yeah, mine, I was finding that I was getting too much algae and it was getting caught up in the hornwort. So I just decided I'm done with hornwort.
The hair algae,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll definitely do it in that hornwort. It'll definitely do it.
Hmm.
And you have a tendency, the more hornwort you have, unless you just have super, super high flow, the fact that the hornwort is restricting so much flow is causing you to have a buildup of the proteins and stuff, and it's not all being utilized, and taken up with your filter and taken up with the plants. It's like it's stagnant. So that's how the hair algae is growing like that in the midst of that hornwort.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying CO2 soon.
I hear CO2 will choke out algae, but it's the maintenance of the CO2, having to keep up keep up with it so
Right.
you don't choke your fish out. You know,
Right. Well,
that's the part I'm gonna.
I'm gonna actually put that in a tank by itself with just plants.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've
Yeah.
been having fish about a good uh, 30, 30 plus years. After a while, it becomes easy.
Now you said that you had a lot of guppies and mollies and swordtails, pretty much the live bearers. Do you have a favorite kind of fish?
Well, yes. Now that question has some caveats to it. I have a couple of fish that I like maybe the same amount, but one is illegal. That would be snakehead, and I'm crazy about wild betters. And I kind of believe that it's because they so resemble snakeheads. I just like the overall shape.
Mm,
I like the both end, which is legal, but getting hold of them, that's a whole nother story. But chinoides, wild chinoides right now is my favorite better. I want to get some antutas when money gets a little bit better here soon because you have to have them imported.
yeah.
They're around in the United States, but they're harder to get hold to. But I would say wild betters, if I had to pick one, would be my favorite. And rest in peace, my original male, who was the father to all the babies in this take over here, passed away today.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That's never fun.
No, it's not fun at all. I noticed the last few days he wasn't eating, but being that they were mouth brooders, I thought maybe he was holding eggs because they won't eat when they're holding.
oh, yes.
So I thought maybe he was holding, and then another day goes by and another day went by, and then I came in, earlier today and he was just floating there. I'm like, oh, I guess he wasn't holding.
Yeah. I
And
had
so
one better right now that I'm worried about is fins on.
fins like nipping or rot.
They just seem to have. I don't know if he nipped up all his fins or if he uh from going to a sponge filter to one of those nano hang on the back filters. I don't know what happened, but all of his fins seem to have pretty much gone away.
Mm.
But they're growing back now. I put a little bit of the oh, what is it? The methylene blue, I think it is.
Methylene blue.
Yeah, in there just in case. And he's doing well. And they're starting to grow back, but I have no idea what happened. I don't know if he just wasn't happy or was flaring too much and maybe blew out his fins, but
Because there could be a number of things you could have. It could be parameters. It could be him not being comfortable in that tank. But it could be nipping. It could be rot. But one thing with the betters, the lowering your pH with your leaves, whether it be catappa leaves or just your regular hardwood leaves that you have in the yards here, the tannins help with the
you
fins.
know what? I bet you that's what it is. I took them from a 10-gallon that had the choya wood or driftwood in it, and I put them in a tank I didn't put any in.
It's a possibility. If it was just in tap water, yeah, he could have been
But
very
yeah,
uncomfortable. Possibility.
got to get some catappa leaves in there.
Yeah,
I
that
got
can be
them.
hard.
I just didn't put them in yet.
That could be it. I mean, no guarantee, but I mean, any
That is
list of
possible.
anything that you can check is always better than having no information at
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah. I was worried that when first set up the tank, I had actually put in some RO water because I do have very hard water here. but it doesn't. I don't think they do as well with the RO as they do with the tap water.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have much knowledge or experience with RO water. Friend of mine when I was growing up, they had well water, which is almost the same, but I've always had in town tap water.
Yeah, I have in-town tap water here in Erie County, but it's really it's 7.8, sometimes 8.3 out of the tap.
Like Texas rock water.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that.
before I got into the, go ahead, Kevin.
See, I'm the exact opposite. My water is like 30 TDS coming out of the freaking tap.
Oh man, I wish.
Yeah,
Hey,
30. Like, holy.
I'm gonna say this, and it flies in the face of what you'll hear in a whole lot of places. Man, if I pull, let's say, I might could do it here. Hold on. Let's see what we're working with. Maybe I need to be working with a new battery.
Yeah, I just got a TDS meter.
Now I've had mine a while, and oh well, yeah, I think I need a new battery. What I was gonna say was my TDS used to run 1,000 with my guppies and whatnot. My TDS used to run 1,000. They were like, "Oh man, if you running 600, you running way too high. 400 for guppies. My normal in my house would be 1,000, 700 to 1,000.
Yeah, but a lot of these fish right now that they're being raised in that already,
Yeah,
so they do well in it.
and that's another one of those conundrums we find ourselves in the hobby is we do all the research, we make videos on it, and it no longer applies to the actual fish that you are spotlighting because you're buying it from the LFS, which is probably raised around the corner and sold to the LFS, and it may be on generation 12, from that particular breeder, you know, like your home neighborhood sourced discus nowadays, because we have
Oh yeah.
tap water raised discus at my LFS here. And I mean, you're talking about taking a lot off the edge of how hard they said it was at one point, to maintain discus, the
Oh
temperatures
yes.
that have to be the same.
Temperature, water parameters, all of it has to be so pristine, but it's got to be an aged tank. They tell you so much, and that's a lot of people want to. I've been looking into discus, and people tell me, "Oh, go to Discus Hans," and it's like, I don't know if I want to go to Discus Hans because I don't know if his fish will do well in my water.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather buy them from my LFS where I know they're going to do well because that's what does well in my area.
right. And if you have a LFS that is a reputable one, you won't feel
They
bad
are.
about buying from there.
Oh, they are. They actually, their entire basement is a quarantine area for when they bring in their fish. They keep them for 2 weeks before they even stock their tanks. And if they buy in any fish, they immediately put a big rag X across the entire tank. Nobody can buy out of that tank for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, that's good. That's definitely good.
And they guarantee it for 7 to 10 days after you buy it.
Mm. And you have to bring your water. Oh, here we go.
They ask you to bring in a water sample, but even if your water's off, they'll tell you what's wrong with it and what you can do to try to fix it. But they'll give you that next fish and they'll tell you, now, if you come back and it's still the same problem, we won't guarantee the third. There you go.
918.
Yep. Yeah, but I really love the place that we've got here. It's been in business that I know of at least 40 years.
Okay, okay.
And they do saltwater and freshwater.
Really quickly, glorious clitorius. It's itching. Ick isn't.
It might be flashing.
Yeah, that would be.
My 2 black water tanks. The one behind me
Oh,
is 125, and the one over here to my left is 100.
wow.
But the ones right behind the camera here, that I have guppies and whatnot in, and mollies are almost 1,000. What we got going on over here in chat?
Uh, we have what is probably a troll.
Yeah, that name looks a little trollish.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, as long as they're not doing anything wrong right now, I'm okay.
Right, right. Because you can never completely tell. Sometimes it's just people
Right.
that
I'm
have,
just saying.
they make their names because they have a strange sense of humor, but they are actually a
My
good person.
my brother's online user ID is Oliver Closeoff.
Okay, right.
And it's funny, he made it up over 30 years ago, long before he has kids. And
I was
it's
gonna say,
like,
was that like an
it,
AOL username?
yes, yes. AOL, Facebook.
Yeah, I remember those days. I don't remember my username back then, but I remember those days. Oh, what's going on, Kevin?
Oh, I'm just reading chats.
Bottom Dweller says, same here, GH and KH is like 120 and 180. pH is 7.5 to 8, and temp is 72 to 75. Hi, Danny, or Kenny, more than likely.
Okay.
Yep. What up,
Kenny.
fish? What up, fish
Hey.
people? We know who that is.
What's going on, sir?
Okay. Hank, do you mind if I ask what got you into YouTube? I'm curious. What
Well,
got you into YouTube?
see, I've been on YouTube like 10 years, but I've only been on the fish side a little over two.
Okay.
I was real big into powerlifting and bodybuilding and all that, together. And YouTube was just a resource. I just looked up stuff. I wanted to see people breaking world records, lifting who has the heaviest bench press, who squatted the most, who deadlifted the most. And I got to where I would download clips and make my own disc, the hard drive, make my own disc of lifts. And then I made a YouTube page where I would showcase these lifts. Then I went from that one, which was 10 years ago, to maybe 6 years ago, I had one that was Big Preacher Fit. Big Preacher, because I'm a minister, and a young guy that I was working out with um, found out I was a minister just because of the conversations we were having. Like nothing, not even religious conversations, just in between sets, the conversations that I would have with him. One day he said, "Man, are you a preacher?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am." So he started calling me Big Preacher, Big Preach. So I started a page where I would do inspirational thoughts. Sometimes I'd be sitting out. Since I work in a prison facility, and I've been doing that for 7 years. I work night shift. So when I was off work, I worked out at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I'll be sitting in my car in the dark, and a thought will run across my head before I go in and work out. I'd make a video, just speaking on whatever the scenario is, that I witnessed or I thought on, and I put that up. I'd post my workouts. I'd have instructional workout videos. Now that's ironic. I'll make instructional. I made instructional workout videos, but I won't make instructional fish hobby videos. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand that now. I just realized that while I was telling this story. But my my place in ministry is the main reason at this point for me being in YouTube. I mean, I love the fish. I love the fish fam. Um, Ran up on the fish fam at a dark time in my life, and I use the term dark not as I was thinking about taking my life or anything, but I had ruptured my Achilles at juvenile facility, and I was just sitting at home, like nothing to do, not feeling like I was being beneficial to my family because I was broken up, and I ran across. I don't even know if I looked up something. I don't know how I ended up on fish tube, but I just started watching fish stuff, guppies. I went back to old school days, and I'm watching people in their guppies. Then I bought some feeder fish. I had no idea that wild guppies were being used as feeder fish. I mean, like, not a clue. Realized that they had been using them as feeder fish as long as I had been catching fish, 30, 40, 50 years. I had no clue, never seen it before. So I ran across a few, and I said, man, let me get some of these guppies. Then I thought they were endlers when I found out about endlers. And then before I realized the difference in the two, and it just went from there. I was posting those videos as I was healing, and I was meeting people and in chats. I ran up on Sand Creek Aquatics. I just ran up on this stick a day before yesterday and found out that yesterday was his year of passing. That was ironic also. And, that was strange the way that worked out. Found a sticker the day before. Well, I didn't know people were live streaming, in fish tube until I ran up on him live streaming. And my mother passed away from renal failure. She was on dialysis. So as I was watching him, I saw his port. Those things I was recognizing. And I was at home. He was at home. He was always streaming. So I was always in the chat. And one day, he asked me out of chat, hey, I don't think I was Big Tank Hank at the time. I think I had some other name. He was like, you wanna come up? No, I may have been Hank at that point. You want to come up and I just have a day where I interview you? And I'm like, hey, I think that'll be cool. So I was on his stream, and then it just went from there. He gave me the bug, and I'm like, kind of the same thing I was doing with him from the other side of the camera. I would be talking to him in Messenger and things like that. It's kind of what I do now on camera. So I don't know if I actually answered the question because I just took off right there, but
No, you did. You it told us how you got started and all the different channels that you've had, and which brings us up to today when you're doing your own that's fish related.
Yes, yes. Yeah, these fish and the fish fam, and it's just um on top of we make a joke about the fish being addictive and whatnot, but I think the relationships are addictive also.
I think it's a, yeah, you're right. It's the combination of both. The type of people who keep fish make such a good community for each other that it increases the enjoyment of the hobby tenfold.
Most definitely, most definitely, most definitely. And I mean, and to be put in situations where if you were just you never ran across YouTube fish fam, you were just a hobbyist, and you see these different types of fish, man, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that. There's no way for me to get it. I don't know where I'm gonna get it from. I can't afford it. To be put into a situation where we have this network, you know, of if you have it, I have it. If I have it, you have it, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a
Oh
beautiful thing.
yes,
It's a beautiful
and
thing.
it's really nice to see so many people who just want to see you succeed.
Most
And I
definitely.
think
That
that's
is
the best part of the fish family. You know, for the most part, even though there's these little squabbles here and there, for the most part, all of us just want to see each other succeed in their hobby
Yeah.
so
and
true.
make it even more enjoyable from one day to the next.
Right. Right. Most definitely. Most definitely. Because I know I have a. I really like finding, like, your algorithms running up on a channel where somebody just starting off. They may have 40 or 50 subs, but they just have this passion. They put this together, putting that together, and you're listening to them. You're, man, how are you so knowledgeable, man? This is crazy. And I want to put you up on the screen. I want people to know you exist. I want somebody to know, because I see you and look like it's only 25, 30 other people that's interested in you. Hey, let's see if I can get some more people to know about you. Let's put you out there in front of them.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that I like to do when I find somebody that just, even if they don't have a lot of knowledge, if they just have the passion to find the knowledge, I want people to know about them because you know that they're going to help this hobby grow so much. And if
Right?
they're just given this encouragement at the very beginning of what a world is they could make tomorrow.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Because we see the growth of so many people. We just sit back, and you can remember when the first videos were rolling out to them now, it's like, man, this guy or this girl has just skyrocketed, just had this thirst for fish knowledge. Because
Yeah.
I'm not the most fish. No, I'm not gonna say not the most fish savvy, because I guess savvy would be the proper word, but just knowledgeable overall. I'm not the fish guru guy, at all. But I like those people. I
Hi,
like to
Mary
see those
Page.
people.
But
We
yeah,
got
it's awesome. I know you
Mary
know
Page.
you have more to say, Kevin. I've been talking a lot. I know I'm taking over the stream.
No worries.
Mary Page, my
It's
sister
both of
from another
ours. No
mister.
worries.
But as for the person that was in here a little bit earlier asking some questions, definitely come back on one of the other nights when we're not doing the interview. We'll be more than happy to look further into the questions that you have. I think it's great that even though you don't have tanks, you want to learn what you can so that you're ready when you do have one. That's the best way to start in this hobby.
So, hey, just in curiosity, what was your first, I guess, fish you kept?
You know, man. Oh,
I know that's a hard question.
yeah.
Yeah, considering he was grabbing them out of the local rivers and things.
Cause see, I have a clouded, memory on that because up the street from, okay, there's three parts to this answer, but I don't know which
Okay.
one was first. I don't know which one was first, but there's three parts.
Thank you, Angus.
There, maybe about five blocks from my house, there was the sheriff's department, the jail. Around it, you know how you have the drainage ditch that they dig, you know, to drain. Well, the drainage ditch around the jail kept water in it at all times, and it was a flow. It was like a creek. I don't know if they ran it off a creek. I don't know how they did it,
A
but
culvert.
it never dried, and it flowed. Even when it wasn't raining, it flowed. Well, Gambusia, which at the time was just minnows or mosquito fish. I didn't know Gambusia until 2 years ago. So I would go down there and catch those fish. Maybe a block from there, there was a minnow shop, bait shop. Periodically, I would just buy minnows. And if I had a little change, where I recycle some cans, I might go buy me some minnows, you know, and put them in a tub and wait for them to die, because that's what would end up happening to them, unfortunately. And then you have the fair, you know, like the county fair goldfish, where you throw the dart and you bust the balloon or you bounce the ping pong ball into the fish bowl and you win a goldfish. So I don't know if I got a goldfish first. The goldfish would have been the first one kept in the house, and my mother supervised, and we actually kept it around any length of time. So maybe I guess the goldfish should be maybe the proper. That's probably the correct answer. Goldfish from the fair.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm still not real sure what was first.
That makes total sense.
I can remember getting a corsage, you know, the round corsage container.
Yep.
I can remember getting a corsage container, turning it upside down, and making a little fish bowl out of it with gambusia in it. So I mean, I don't know what my first fish I kept was, man. I've been keeping fish for a minute. Crawfish, turtles, lizards, frogs, chickens, pigeons, dogs, rabbits, cats, turtles, caimans,
so basically
parakeets, cockatiels. I've had some of everything, man. Ball python, king snakes, tarantulas, pet crickets, roly-polies. You know, they're popular now.
That reminds me.
They're
Go
popular
ahead.
now. They're popular now. They have zebra. Oh, they have all these different kinds. But I was a little fella with roly-polies in a shoebox.
When I was a kid, I remember taking a trip I'm from in New York, and we took a trip to my great grandmother's house in Pennsylvania. And I remember catching a cricket and wanting to take it home. So I took off my sock and I put it in my sock and I kept it in my pocket. And the whole way home, no problem, until we got to the border of New York. And at the border of New York, they asked you, do you have anything to declare? And I said, well, I have a cricket in my pocket. And my mother swung her head around and she says, is that what that damn noise was that I've been hearing this whole time?
I remember you telling me that story.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, hey, crickets are cool, but the problem is my crickets used to get loose and they would be in the house making a noise. And my mama, you know, my mother and grandma they would automatically know, you know. Boy, you gonna find that cricket before you go to sleep tonight.
Right. I also remember catching big old bullfrogs when I spent some time one summer in Hawaii. And we would catch the little frogs, which were really cute. But then we'd go out and we'd catch the big bullfrogs and we'd put them in an aquarium overnight and then let them go in the mornings. But I loved catching those, and that's the first time that I learned about geckos.
Okay.
I love those. I'm pretty good with most lizards, but I draw the line at snakes. Snakes just I can't do them. I have a phobia. I tried to get over it, and I can't get over it.
My wife can't even see them on TV.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I tried handling a friend of mine's snake, and I was okay with it, but then I forgot it was in the house, and he had hung it up over the bathroom door. So, I'm walking to go into the bathroom, and this snake's face came right up into my face, and that was the end of that for me.
No, no, that was cruel.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
Then I
Nice.
actually had a
Oh,
roommate that
awesome.
had one, a ball python, and he kept that one at my house. And I was all right with that one. I went away for a month and I
And
came
then
back.
you
While I was gone, he tells me, "Oh, by the way, I got another little snake." And this was a corn snake, I think, or one of those snakes that they're extra bitey when they're young. And he's telling me this, and I came home and it's like, no, you and your snakes got to get out of my house.
No.
It's like you don't do that to a woman
yeah.
who's already afraid of snakes. You tell me that, oh, I just got a new one, and oh, they're little and they're extra bitey, and then I come home and you want me to try to handle your new snake? Heck no.
They didn't
You're
tell you
lucky.
the extra bitey.
Yeah.
No, no. I didn't I didn't start keeping the snakes actually until I was an adult. Because as a youngster, I wasn't gonna pick them up. I was not gonna do it. I was
Yeah.
not gonna do it. It took me to get older, and the bigger snake, I guess, the bigger snakes helped me get over nervousness because you can handle them easier. Because they're big. You can handle them easier. So then
Yeah.
I was okay with the small ones after that. But yeah, starting out with the little ones, I'm like, try to grab it and just wrapping up, and you can't let the head go. It may not even bite you, like the little grass snake. It won't bite you, but you couldn't convince me of that.
Right. Well, that's
Wait, so do
work.
you keep snakes now or no?
Huh?
Do you
You say, would
have
He's
I get
snakes?
one?
keeping them now.
No, no, no. My wife is not gonna hear it.
Okay.
No. We have fish and a Yorkie named Teeny. Other than that, no.
What kind of Yorkie? Is it a regular or a silky?
Regular.
Ah,
He's 11 years old.
Oh wow. How old was he when you got him?
6 weeks.
Oh wow. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6, 8, whatever. He was like, you know, we were talking back and forth to the breeder, and we got him straight from so yeah, he was.
Yorkshires are one of the few small dogs that I do like, because they're not as nervous and yippy and yappy as all the other ones. They really just seem to want to hang out and be your buddy.
Yeah, he's so imprinted on my wife, but he should actually be like a service dog for her. But because
Kind
you
of a
talking,
therapy animal.
oh, he's so in tune with her. It's bad sometimes. Like, and she has PTSD right now. If somebody is firing off firecrackers or we have a storm, whatever, we have the little storm jacket to put on him because
Hi,
he's nervous.
Larry.
He's nervous right along with her.
Yeah, I've figured out lately that I do have PTSD for things that are either firecrackers or gunfire. If it sounds like that and I don't know where it's coming from, I've got to identify it.
Right.
I can't
Only
settle
balloons.
down till I find out where it is.
Only
Hey,
balloons you
Larry.
bring in here would be Mylar.
Yep.
That's the only Mother's Day, whatever. Mylar. Don't get none of the rubber balloons. Don't bring them in here.
Oh yeah.
So, Hank, what other hobbies do you have?
None.
Just your aquariums?
Just my aquarium. Um,
And his plants.
Awesome.
well, yeah, I guess I can say that because I actually have a green thumb. I do. I have a
Wait,
green
how many
thumb. I have
tanks do you have?
how many
Sorry.
tanks? I have 5 tanks and one little pond, guppy pond out there on my patio.
Nice.
From I had 11, but from the move, I had to combine and condense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
Now, when you had to combine and condense, did you end up having to get rid of any of the fish?
I did, but it was only a few. I had in my garage, I had a 50. Well, I had two 50-gallon totes, and the one tote that I have on my patio now, which is 30. But I had 3 venustas, African cichlids, 2 parachromas managuins, jaguar
Oh,
cichlids. I had 2 of those, and
oh.
everybody, all of them were like 2 to 3 inches, and I had 2 convicts, and they were all in those totes in the garage. And I mean, we know I was gonna need a bigger setup to keep them, and it was gonna be impossible. I don't even see. I was lucky enough that the leasing people were like, if you don't have any fish that jump out the tank and bite the maintenance guy, we don't have a problem with you keeping them. And we're upstairs, so I wasn't gonna try to lug no big tanks up the stairs either. So
That makes me wonder how many people keep fish that jump out of the tank and bite the maintenance guy.
hey, those South Americans they're known.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're known if
yeah.
you don't have
No
a typhoon.
arowanas.
He said you jump, and I'm like, I wonder did that happen before or something. I was like, well, no, you don't have to worry about that with me. I don't have a killer. I don't have any killer betters over here,
Right?
unless you're another fish, maybe. But other than that,
Yeah, they won't draw blood on you, so you're good.
right? Most definitely. Oh, Kevin, how's the puppy coming, man?
He's good. Kelly's on
What
my
is he?
bed right now. He's good.
Aren't they
He's doing
both
well.
on the bed?
Oh yeah, they are. They are both on here. Fender's just on the corner. I don't know why. He's always
Okay,
on the corner.
Because she's in the middle.
with the whole bed taken over.
She's a little bit of a bully right now. She's putting him in his place. She's like, "This is my house. This is my bed."
Oh man, poor fella.
And
And
he's like,
she's got at least 10 to 20 pounds on him. So yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, that'll make a little bit of difference, especially if he's not, an excitable or aggressive guy. You get tired of being nipped in the face and stuff like that. It'll make him chill
What is
out.
it?
I don't think she's that really a bully like that. She just definitely makes her presence known and spreads out to the point where he's limited on what he can do.
Oh,
Yeah, she just Well, so when they play
And
tug of
she
war,
steals all the food if she can.
she steals the food
Okay.
when she can. She always like he does get a lot more, but she also is a lot bigger and does not do a ton of exercise, so she has been getting a lot less food than Fender is. But yeah, no, she pushes him out of the way when she wants food, and then when they're playing, they play tug of war, and she just like she's always growling and
Am I back? Am I back? Am
Travis
I back?
says that sounds like his last relationship.
Hold on,
I
people.
saw that, and then
Had an alarm go off.
Now I can't hear.
oh yeah, we can hear you.
Now I can't hear.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
How about now?
Yep, we can still hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, buffalo photo. Endlers are good, but they're really small. Swordtails, and mollies. If swordtails, mollies, and guppies are really the best fish, I would say, if you're looking
Here we go.
to have the experience of a new
Yay.
fish keeper, of being excited by having babies born in your tank. The
All right.
guppies are the most colorful with the differences because you can find them with all different color fins. The swordtails are fun to watch when the male goes backing up through the tank trying to find the females. And mollies and platies, they're just like puppies, you know, or I should say like bunnies. You have one, you have lots of them.
So true.
All right, Hank. So since we're on this topic, what advice would you give somebody who's just starting out? If you have any.
Learn the learn the nitrogen cycle. Learn the importance of beneficial bacteria. Uh, learn whatever fish you have an eye for. Find out what size tank at the end of the day that the adult version of that fish will have to be in before you even buy it. I think those may be the most important.
Oh, Larry.
Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions before you do anything. Before you buy the tank, ask questions. That's
Patty,
probably the
Patty,
most
Patty.
important.
And don't just ask the fish store, because you will find that there are some really great fish stores that will steer you right, and there are other fish stores that will steer you down the how many sales can I get out of this person.
Yes, yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Just like with cars, you don't take it to the wrong mechanic because they'll find everything wrong in the book with your car. You really need to find somebody that's trustworthy when they're giving you the advice. And don't listen to just one person. Do your research, listen to more than one person. Take your time, don't rush into it. Um, really have an understanding of what you want the tank to be when it's done, so that when you're buying your fish, you're buying them in the right order. And you know how many you can get before you're done, and you're not saying, oh, but now I want this, and you really don't have space for that. or it won't get along with something you're already keeping. And there are just some fish
Right.
that need to be the last ones to go into the tank, because when they go in, they're going to find a territory and claim it. And if everybody else doesn't have a territory already, you've got trouble.
Most definitely. Oh, only I'm allowed to do fish in cycles.
Ah,
So
only you?
learn how to cycle without using fish.
Do what I say, not do what I do.
Yeah, right.
The trick with that is to make sure that you continue to feed the cycle so it completes. So many people think that the cycle has completed just because they forgot to add the food source to keep things going.
Right. No. And I have actually never had an algae bloom, like the clouding of the water algae bloom, like any of those things. So that's kind of why, I'll say, because I've had a lot of time to make a lot of mistakes. So when there's a lot of the stuff that comes up now, that people talk about in the fish hobby, I'm like, I don't know, no, I've never seen that because I have done such an extreme, disservice as a youngster that some of the what would be considered more minor things now I haven't even experienced because of all the atrocities that I have thrust upon the fish world as a youngster. And there's no need to do that, people. There's no need to do that. I didn't know better, but you have all of this wealth of knowledge out in front of you on YouTube that there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
And there's no reason to go out and reinvent the wheel. But if you do and it succeeds, let us know.
Right?
I'm all for people trying something new, as long as they're trying to be safe about it, doing their testing to make sure that their fish are safe while they're doing it. But definitely, uh, if you can find something that you're passionate about, and if you can find something that you say to yourself, this hobby would be so much easier if we had something like this, work on it, develop it, do it, because there's so many of us that 5 years later we say, I came up with that. I thought about that. And we're kicking ourselves for not having done it.
Yeah. That used to happen to me all the time. Laziness can cause it to happen to you also.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes,
But
oh man, this would be a good idea. Just sit on it and sit on it and sit on it, and it shows up. You're like,
oh,
hey,
yes.
did somebody hear me talking about that?
Yeah, who picked my brain? When did this happen?
Oh my goodness. Nothing new under the sun. Unless you make it, then it's new.
So, I don't know if you answered it, but what was your most difficult experience keeping aquariums? I don't think I asked that.
Well, man, as a matter of fact, I think that was probably happened like quite recent.
Well, that's good for you then.
How's this alarm cleat going off on me like this? Oh, hold on. Let me turn my mic. Oh my goodness.
Right now, Kevin is very
Okay,
focused
okay,
on
okay.
guppies and
Can you
shrimp.
hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh yeah, I forgot. Y'all said y'all
And
can hear me, but I can't hear y'all.
I
Okay,
am
I'm gonna answer the
holding
question.
on to some super red plecos for
I'm gonna
him.
answer the question without me hearing you guys. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Well, maybe a month ago or so, right before I was moving, I had some 20-gallon lawns that I was going to get rid of, and I was looking for a 40 breeder. So I found this young couple, they were interested in getting rid of a 40 breeder, and they wanted the 20 lawns. So they brought them to my house, brought the 40 breeder to my house, and I took my tanks out to them. The young man, he was kind of small. He was packing his 40 breeder. I'm like, oh man, let me help you with that. So I took it out of his hand, and I'm walking it into my garage, and I go to sit it down. And as I lean forward, I just kept leaning and kept leaning
Oh,
until I crashed into my garage wall, and it shattered, and
ooh,
it cut my arm all up. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. That may have been my worst fish keeping experience. Then I had one where I was changing water, and I had a rack system in my old. You'll see some of my old videos where I had the like 5 or 6 tanks right behind me, tens, and I was looking in a 20-gallon long just below this top rack, and a little drop of water boop, was dropping into the 20 long. Had just started while I was there working on it. Well, the tank above it, because I like to take the rims off. Like you see, this one behind me has no rim on it. I took the rim, these 2 longs, I took the rims off. Well, I did it with a lot of tens also. With this particular one, I guess where I had it sitting, it probably wasn't, completely flat and level, and I tweaked, and it ended up cracking underneath. Well, it started dripping. Now, it was good that I caught it. It started just as I was changing the water, so I had a chance to drain it and get it down, and so I averted a catastrophe. But that was the first time that I had a tank just start to leak on me. But I was there when it happened.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
man,
Well,
I'm having
that's
all
good
kinds of
that
issues over
you
here.
managed
Here
to
we go.
stop that one.
Uh-oh. Hello, hello,
Yeah, we
can
can
you
hear
hear us?
you.
hello. Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, I can hear you. All right. I'm having all kinds of issues over here. And what's going on?
Wait,
I have
so
a
Kevin
alarm
doesn't
going
have
off for
evil
11
laughter.
o'clock. Uh-oh, what was that?
I don't
Were you
know.
hearing it?
I heard something.
Okay, now I can't hear again. Oh man.
can you hear us?
Let me just take these off.
Or it could be my microphone wasn't working well.
There we go. It was sounding like, and then it would be a blah, 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 blah. I hear a little sound, and then it go blank, and then it would roar. So I just turned this out. Maybe these are going dead or something. I don't know. Let me just take them off.
Well, we
There we
can
go.
hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yep, you sound good.
Yeah, you
All
sound
right.
fine. So what is the most exciting part of the hobby for you then? And I guess what is the most difficult after?
The most exciting part is when you get fry from something like there's people they still I'm not as excited about baby guppies because I'm overrun all the time. I'm used to that.
Mm.
But like when my Chinoides first when they first spawned and he held the eggs and they spit the fry and the first go around they surprised me. I thought they had died or was eaten up until I had these little maybe half-inch little fries show up because they start off like less, you know, like maybe half a centimeter. But you know, I see the little rascals coming out of the horn water. I'm like, oh my God, you know, some survived. So the next go around, I actually paid attention to it and I supervised it. So I have maybe 10 fry back here in this tank that are about an inch long now. So that was very exciting. Now, the most disappointing is when you lose a fish that you just really like I did today. That's the most
Yeah.
disappointing.
Wait, what fish did you lose?
My Chinoides male. I had bought a pack from Jesse HC Aqua. I may have had them almost a year, maybe. No, 9 months ish. And I don't know. He just came in today and he had passed away. I don't know how old they were, you know, already when I got him. But yeah, he passed away. The female is back here in this tank behind me, but the male was in a tank right here behind the camera. Because I thought he was holding fry. That's why he was over there, you know, because he wasn't eating.
I would also caution you that if you're going to be buying or having a Neocaridina tank, make sure it has a top. Shrimp like to jump and climb.
I haven't noticed mine jump or like to climb or jump out much.
Oh, sure you haven't. How many times have we been on the phone together at night when you're messing around in your tanks and we're both trying to catch a shrimp that jumped out of the nets?
Oh yeah, that
Well, okay, that's true, but
come out of it there.
Doesn't get quite that. Anyways, yeah, you're right. I'll give you that. But usually that's even with the tops on.
Oh yeah, they jump. And they do climb out, so you want to make sure that the top fits well and that you make as small a holes as you can for your lights and your cords and all that to go through.
True, Patty.
What's up with the ice cream? You brought up ice cream. Now I'm gonna want ice cream.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking that too.
Cookies and cream.
Oh yeah, especially from Baskin Robbins. Why is it that whenever? Anyways, yeah, I do enjoy cookies and cream.
I like Friendly's Butter Crunch ice cream.
Ice cream.
Mm-mm-mm.
Guilty pleasure. Put a little root beer in there, you know.
Oh, now if I'm doing root beer, it's got to be A&W and it's got to be vanilla.
A&W root beer has that frosty mug taste.
Yep.
I like mud. I don't like into as much. All right, Hank.
It's
So
just for the root beer
Why?
floats. Oh, he likes
Why?
the root beer that has the more bite to it. So he's more into the mugs or the bargs.
Here we go again.
oh,
So he's just
Okay, there we
into
go.
the stronger ones. Dr. Pepper float. Never had a float with Dr. Pepper.
I
yeah,
have,
I'm
but
sure Larry would like that though.
Dr. Pepper doesn't have quite the bite. You know, there's something about that bite with the ice cream. Dr. Pepper's kind of, I mean, I like it, but it's kind of mellow, you know.
Okay.
And it's not as cream soda
So
is mellow, but it's sweet. Whereas the Dr. Pepper's mellow, if it was sweeter, maybe, but you know. Let me critiquing floats and sodas in the float.
It's that time of night. Everybody's thinking about that bedtime treat.
So, I know you had a fish room at your old place, but what are your plans for the future? Or
Well, I
what
technically
are you
have a fish room
planning to do?
now. It's a study. You know, one of those little study room off to the side with the desk. So this is actually a desk right here with the shelf up there. Um, this is gonna have to do it for a while. I don't have any interest of having like a store or a fish warehouse or anything like that, you know, because I have a tendency to keep fish that I won't sell enough to keep the lights on. you know, I just like those oddball, obscure fish where they have a niche, you know, and I could provide, you know, for a
Yeah.
few people, but they'll never, you know, be, you know, very marketable. So me, it's all about keeping enough fish to stay sane, but talking to fish people. That's the thing for me.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I started this past year with just having 3 tanks. I'm up to, what do we figure out, 31 now?
See, I
Something
have a
like
good
And,
that, yeah.
I have a good
and,
buffer. My wife is a good buffer, so I'll never
oh,
it'll never
half of
happen.
this is because my boyfriend can't have fish at his house. So I set up tanks for the fish he likes, and then I like different fish, and then he ends up liking the fish that I like. So he kind of claims them all. Um, but he got us into doing saltwater.
Okay.
So I 2 of those tanks are saltwater. But the other day he was saying I want an axolotl, and it's like, well, I don't. You you want an axolotl? And he's like, yeah. I says, last month you said you didn't like those. Well, I actually saw one in person now, and I saw him on Bob's channel, and he was feeding them, and they look so cute. I says, okay, well, before you can have an axolotl, you need to learn how to do water changes. So he's still thinking about how much he wants to have an axolotl.
So that axolotl is gonna be definitely his. Huh?
Yes, well, he's going to have to keep it at his house, because I won't keep it at my house. It's a little bit too much care than I want to have to give to one particular fish.
Okay.
They're very messy from what I've heard. And I just don't want to have to do that many water changes on one tank continuously.
Too cool for me. Yeah, natural aquariums. That makes sense. Yeah,
And I'm hoping
I
if I
don't
get
find
him to learn how to do the water changes for his own tank, he can actually help do the water changes on our tanks.
Okay. Go sneak that in on it.
Yeah, but he really does enjoy our saltwater tanks, and that's the only exception I have right now. I would like to do one more tank of saltwater, because I'm doing a reef tank, and I have a seahorse tank, and I'd like to have just a live rock fish only tank.
Okay. I had
But
2 saltwater tanks, maybe 23 years ago, 24. A 10-gallon and a 20.
and
And
what
I
did you
hear that
keep?
the larger tanks are the easiest saltwater tanks.
That's what I've heard too. What saltwater fish should you keep?
I had I had 3 live rock in the center of this tank with 3 black spotted damsels, and then I had 1 yellow tang in my bathroom in a tank.
Oh, I like the yellow tangs. We have we have the seahorse tank. We had 3 seahorse. We had 2 of them die. And I don't know exactly what
Which I'm
happened
sad
with that.
about.
They probably 2 of them probably harassed the oldest one, and then the female that was harassing the oldest one died. So we have just the youngest male that we bought with the young female. We're still waiting for the fish store that we get them from to have more in stock. But then I have the reef tank. That one's got the clownfish. It's got a firefish. It's got blue line wrasse. There's a yellow rose line goby. What else? Oh, and the Valentini pupper.
Okay.
And those are some of my favorite fish. The clownfish, it's a pergola clown, and we've had that one for a little over 2 years now. It's the original saltwater fish that we bought, and it's been doing great and gone through some different tank mates here and there. Learned real quick to make sure the rocks are put in very well and very stable, because I did a water change one day and moved around the rocks and somehow or another crushed one of the fish because I wasn't aware of where it was when I was doing the water change. So when I put the rock back down in, it was under it. So I learned real quick. But I've been pretty lucky. The fish place that I bought all this live rock from, I ended up getting a baby and not an anemone, urchin, a black sea urchin,
Okay.
and a sea cucumber, and a piece of coral as well, agropora coral, and those are all no charge. So I've been pretty lucky there. And I have a free unknown catfish that's a freshwater fish that came in on some driftwood. I've had that one for about 6 months now. And when it first came in, it was about 3/4 of an inch long. Now it's maybe an inch and a half. But it's a small little guy. He doesn't cause any problems with anybody.
Or you still hadn't identified him?
Still have not identified him. Closest I can get is it might be a wood cat.
Okay.
It's just it's so hard to tell with his colorations and trying to look at pictures to know exactly what he is.
Just
But
take a picture and
he's not a
post it.
con. I have, and I've had people tell me 8 different things, and they still can't decide what they think it is. So
Oh,
I'm just going with he gets along well, and we'll leave it at that.
okay.
Obviously, he's not a quick grower if he's only grown maybe 3/4 of an inch in 6 months.
And those
So,
wood cats stay relatively small though, right? So
yeah, and that's
wood
what I'm
cat.
thinking. I think he's probably going to be end up being a wood cat, and then he's going to stay small like that, which is great because right now I've got him in a 10-gallon, but I also have a 20 long I could put him in. I also, if I have to, there's a 75 and a 180, but I'm hoping to keep those tanks available for other fish. We've finally decided we're going to get the discus, and we're going to put those in the 180. So they will be the centerpiece fish.
Hello, James Kite. And that's awesome.
I know you've been waiting for us to get discus so that you can learn all about it and know somebody who's had personal experience and give you advice
No,
to
I
do it
just
for
can't have.
yourself.
I just can't have one right now. So
Yes, but that's right now. You just got
yes, I
permission.
can't.
But you just got
I don't.
permission to have a pond.
True. And I want to get the rack up, but yeah. But yeah, I am. I'm hoping to do it soon. I want to get one soon. I just can't find one around here. But yeah, be safe, COC.
I
Hey
know it's
guys, I
just.
think I need to get out of here too.
Yeah, thank you, Big Tank Tank. I was just about to end it. Thank you so much.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yes,
Been
it
looking
was so
forward to it.
nice to have you out tonight and get to know you a little bit better.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
so nice when we see you out in the chats, and I love, again, love watching your videos. Please keep it up.
I will. If I can wake up in the morning and suck in another breath of air, I'm gonna keep going.
Well, here's hoping that happens for a good long time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
thank you
thank you to
so much.
everybody who's been in chat tonight, those who have been chatting, lurking. Um, we do these interviews every Sunday night. If you have somebody that you personally would like to know a little bit more about, shoot me or Kevin an email. Look us up on Facebook. Leave a comment after the stream comes back, and you can look at the replay. Let us know who you want to see next. And we'll see
Thanks,
if we can't
everyone.
get him to come out for us. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great
Thank you,
week. Take
everyone.
care of each other.
Y'all
Thank
be
you,
good.
guys.
Be good. Love you.
Thank you, Hank. Love you guys. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.